is no scandal at Law Talk Nation. You can only pay, get a notification. If you're lucky, it's a spicy fornication. It's another day on Law Talk with Mike. We got pre-trial on the dial. Planning always make your chest smile. The pros say can't ever share a file. Defendants are always in denial. He was not driving, he's traveling. His reasons and facts are unraveling. It's another day of Law Talk with Mike. Courtroom is always popping off. You have a failure appear and you scoff. Judge Simpson is never going soft. Webster is always showing heart. We are heading into that soft six summer. Did you miss the line? That's a bummer. The soft six never gets smarter than dumber. He's not the man, he doesn't need a number. He was not driving, he's traveling. His reasons and facts are unraveling. It's another day of Law Talk with Mike. Courtroom is always popping off. You have a failure to appear and you scoff. Judge Simpson is never going soft. Webster is always showing hard. We are heading into there is no.
The evidence in this case showed that on May 16th, 2024, inmate Benjamin Morgan was out of place. A simple institutional violation that Corrections Officer Stephen Bills tried to remedy by
Good big shout out to Court Cam today. Link to the video and the channel in description. Also of course Zach over at LawNerdsUnite. This is our little warm up.
asking the defendant to simply go to his cell and shut the door. A command that the defendant refused repeatedly. Over and over and over again. Nearly 20 times, Officer Bills calmly gave the defendant a command to lock down. He refuses to do so, and so he gets hit by a short burst of OC spray, pepper spray. A signal 3 is then called. Officer Nard, Corrections Officer August Nard, who's already en route to K Block, to the defendant's cell, based on the earlier requests for assistance, hears the signal 3, starts running, and arrives at the defendant's cell as Corrections Officers Bills and Garcia are fighting over the door with inmate Morgan. And what did inmate Morgan do the entire time?
He looks like so out of place in that outfit. I mean, I get it. He's incarcerated. They decided to dress him up like Urkel to bring him to court. But it's hard to watch.
I'm a good fighter. Fight me. Fight me. You spray me, I'm going to fight me. I'm going to fight you. I've dealt with bigger people than you.
Older man. Shh. Sorry.
He was combative and resistant the entire time. They had no choice but to do what they did. Nothing was excessive. Nothing was unnecessary. The defendant was not entitled to use force back. He was not entitled to act in self-defense. The state has proven this case, and we ask that you return a verdict of guilty. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Newberger.
You've heard a lot of talk about rules, and you've heard testimony about force. I'm not involved with law enforcement except in the trial setting. And I am absolutely certain that I'm grateful that I'm not a corrections officer. Because in both videos, I see 3 corrections officers trying to do their jobs. People make mistakes, and it's up for you. It's before you to decide whether a mistake was made. But I've got to admit, when I watched that first video, I got angry. I got angry at Mr. Morgan. It took me a little while to get past that, to look at all the evidence. And you'll have all that before you, and you've had it all before you. But I got angry. Because if my daughters had been that disrespectful to a teacher, they would have been suspended, if not expelled. And I certainly would have punished them.
What?
But it wasn't Officer August Nard's job to punish. But what's irrefutable and unrebuttable are the two videos that you have an opportunity to see while you're deliberating. And you've heard all the evidence and the testimony. Mr. Morgan asks you to find him not guilty.
Oh, my man. You never go full Tim Wells.
You heard Officer Nard say there was a sound, a biting sound, a chomp. It broke the skin, it left a bruise. But watch the video. Watch it over and over and over again. Because what it will show you and what the facts are is the defendant refusing to comply with anything. And corrections officers doing what they needed to do. And based on that, I'd ask that you return a verdict of guilty. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nicholson. In the matter of the State of Ohio versus Benjamin Morgan, the jury finds as follows. As to count one, we, the jury being duly impaneled, sworn or affirmed, find the defendant Benjamin Morgan guilty of assault as he stands charged in the indictment. This is the second additional finding the victim of the offense was an employee of the Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. Anything before I pronounce sentence, Ms. Nicholson?
Your Honor, there is no input from the victims. I will note for the record that he is currently incarcerated on a charge of attempted murder out of Cuyahoga County with an out date of August of 2028 currently. He does have other records to include burglaries, robberies, aggravated assaults. The court heard the facts at trial. We would ask for a minimum 24-month sentence to be imposed.
Mr. Newberger, anything on behalf of the defendant?
He may want to speak on his own behalf.
Okay. Mr. Morgan, anything you want to say?
Yes. What is 24 months?
2 years.
2 years.
That's a recommendation. Is there anything you want to say on your behalf?
Yes, I truly wasn't. I truly wasn't trying to. That even when the incident happened, Judge, I just lost it. I went through a lot. I was going through lots of stuff already. People were taking things of mine, and I had been going through that for a minute. When I was having stuff taken from me, I was trying to address it with the officer, and at the time, I had already just going through stuff, and the incident between me and that officer, like I said, like he said, me have never had a problem. Never had a problem. And when he came into that, and when that happened, that incident happened, I never thought that I would even would go through something like that. So I apologize to the court. But the thing of it is being responsible, being an adult and being responsible is the thing. And I've gotten older now, and I've seen a lot of stuff. So and then I'm going through a lot of stuff right now also. And I had been fighting some of the issues that I had been writing you, and that's probably was the cause of, like the young lady was saying to you earlier, when she was telling you that we had to, the first lady that was here with her family, and she was telling you how she stopped and was changing her life and seeing things, and had to me also the same way. I'm gotten older, and I've been through lots of stuff as a youngster. I don't have a problem with facing if I know I'm wrong on something,
Yeah, on behalf of everyone in the world, we don't care.
as I'm older now, I don't have no choice but to face it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And if I'm right about something, then I'm right. But I never attempted to want. I never wanted to harm him with my illness or anything else. I never meant that. I
That's
just
not, Mr. Morgan, that's not
Liar.
what you're charged with. You're not charged with attempting to inflict him with your virus. That's not what you're charged with. You're charged with biting him.
yeah. Well,
I mean, had it been the
It's not what you're charged with, but you are a liar, and that's what you intended to do.
additional, I mean, had the state at least pursued a theory that you were intending or attempting to inflict him with the virus that your body carries, that would have been a more serious charge than what you're faced with now.
but the thing of it is, Your Honor, like I said, I had been going through. People had taken things from me at that time, and when this incident happened, only thing that I could do at the time, and I shouldn't have, but I don't usually bite people. I don't. And so I said, I apologize for that.
Mr. Morgan, you talk as if there's been this big
I don't always bite people, but when I do, they had it coming.
gap between the this incident, because you even referenced this young lady this morning where there was a 15 or 20-year gap between her last offense and this offense. This offense happened 18 months ago. I mean, it wasn't like we're talking about something that happened 10 years ago. It happened 18 months ago, but you want me to believe that in this last 18 months you have grown and matured and figured out how.
I have. I mean, I have no choice. I mean, I have really gotten a chance to really take a look.
I'm confident in this judge based on those comments. And I think the two other hearings I've seen with him, I'm confident that he will do the right thing, even though I haven't seen the rest of this.
At
All right.
some of the stuff.
Then the other thing is that you mentioned was that how you as a man need to take responsibility when you're wrong, right? Are you saying were you wrong here in biting him?
I just yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then why did we have a jury trial over this? They offered you 9 months in prison in addition to add it onto your current sentence, and now we spent the last 2 days. You've been traveling to and from Toledo the last 2 days. I got 2 corrections officers getting up at 4 in the morning to transport you from Toledo this morning. Why did you go through all this if you were wrong?
I found out by listening to all the things that you explained, you guys explained about the what you call her. And then I started looking at it myself and started saying, well, maybe they are,
All right. Courts consider the statements made here today, the purposes and the principles of sentencing, the relevance, seriousness, and recidivism factors. The court does find that you're not amenable to community control. So the court is going to order a sentence of 24 months in prison, that to be served consecutive to your current sentence. The consecutive sentence is necessary to punish this defendant. It is not disproportionate to the conduct or danger posed by the defendant. And this offense occurred while the defendant was already incarcerated with the Department of Corrections. You have 0 days jail time credit on this 24 months. You are indigent for the purpose of any fines, costs, or other financial sanctions. You are subject to a mandatory period of post-release control. So on this offense, like what you're currently serving, the Adult Parole Authority will supervise you for up to 3 years, but not less than 1 year. If you violate that supervision, you can be returned to prison for up to 1/2 of the court's original sentence. If your violation is that you commit another felony, you can be returned to prison for 1 year or the period that you have left on PRC, whichever is longer. That time would run consecutive to any additional prison time you get sentenced to. You do have a right to appeal the jury's verdict and the court's sentence to the 12th District Court of Appeals. If you want to appeal, you must file your notice within 30 days of today's date. If you can't afford to pay for the transcript or anything necessary for your appeal, that can all be provided to you at no cost. If you cannot afford an attorney, I will appoint one for you at no cost. Ms. Nicholson, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Newberger?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, I wish you nothing but the best, okay? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. Rot in jail, Jagoff.
Go on. Andrew Stephen Siak, 25T7174-051.
This is an update.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. How are you people?
I haven't seen it, but we did another stream on this knucklehead.
A case settled court on Procedural 35 number 329.
All right. Sir, your name?
Drew Stevens,
Detective?
Detective Sergeant of the Parkville Coast Guard Police.
I don't remember where we were on the last one. I have to be honest with you.
The officer's testimony under MCL 17-45-17. I do want to make it clear for the record, the officer is currently on administrative leave, and he is not here right now. He did do half of his testimony, or about half, so along that line of his lives. And I am going to ask for an adjournment on his testimony, but however, we do have the complainant here today, and I can put her on the stand and start her testimony that today. It's just the officer that I would ask for today. Given that we already started.
I don't have a problem. Let's proceed with the officer's testimony, and we'll go from there. I know. Give me the file. You guys are killing me. Yeah, but just wait a second. Let me just get her out of here. Devontae
You're killing me, Smalls.
Varcelis Smiley, 25B718164. All right. Your name?
It's Dion Patillo, P8237A on behalf of Mr. Smiley. State your name.
Good morning, sir. So we're going to do this 12/16 at 2.
Yes, the member from the court.
Is that good for me, Lisa? That's what they wrote down. I mean, I don't have a problem if I'm free.
Is that for the exam?
Yes.
Let me bring
That's got to be a Tenacious D tribute reference.
up your calendar real quick.
Got to.
Sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. We'll do it December 16th at 2 p.m. Okay. So you can go down home and get your notice. And I'm going to go on to you're all set. Good luck. And I'm going to go on to this next one. And Mr. Burgess is a few minutes late. Huh? So can you call him again, please?
Judge, I'm sorry.
Again?
I called and I got a voicemail, but I left a message.
Well played.
I can try again.
No, don't. If you just called, there's no reason to.
No one else knows what we're
There's
talking
no
about.
reason to.
Okay.
I just don't understand some of these things. So we got that's an exam today too, isn't it? But I don't want anybody to worry about keeping police officers or witnesses here. I don't think lawyers should concern themselves with that at all. I think they should show up when they want. If he wants to go have a 2-hour luncheon before he gets here, he should do that.
I am
Impressive.
because one of the witnesses is a bit concerned about the stop, so.
I'm not surprised. Let me just put it to you that way. Some of these guys take too many cases. I don't get it. We're going to go on to this one. Nobody, Andrew Stephen Siak, 25T7174-451. All right, we're back on record on that. I heard everything. We have Mr. Siak here. I did ask you to identify yourself, did I not?
Yes, sir.
And your name again?
Andrew Stevens.
Tucker Davis, your name?
On Tucker Davis, P59229.
Your name?
Or all the way up, yeah.
And I have Detective Driscoll here. So you can call your next witness. We'll take them out of order. She can come up and testify. And then if need be, I will be happy to entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay?
The people call Sharon's agent.
Your name, ma'am?
Sharon's agent.
All right, raise your right hand, please. Your right hand. That's okay. You solemnly swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you will give in these proceedings will be the whole truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Okay, have a seat, relax, take a deep breath. All I want you to do is tell the truth. Keep your voice up nice and loud. So pretend people are seated in the back there and you want them to hear you clearly without straining, okay? No mm-hms or ahas. All right, just tell me the truth. We'll go from there. Go ahead.
Please state your name for the record. Shelley Zajan. Ms. Zajan, I am going to take you back to June 22nd, 2025. Can you recall that? Yes. Did you happen to make contact with somebody named Andrew Saya on that day? Yes, ma'am. If you could put the microphone so to your mouth. Yes, I did. Who is Andrew Saya?
He was a former partner.
Okay, you got to keep your voice up.
Oh, okay.
Nice and loud.
He was a former partner.
Did you have a relationship with him?
Yes, I did.
Do you see him in the courtroom today?
Yes, I did.
Can you come up to him? And let the record reflect she has a friend G. What the defendant
What is he wearing?
I live a dark,
I can't hear you.
a dark suit.
What color shirt does he have?
I'm advancing from one position.
Move that podium. Can you move the podium there a little bit? Maybe that's what. There you.
He's wearing.
Yeah, it's a swivel.
He's wearing a blue suit, a blue shirt.
Okay, thank you. The witness has identified the defendant.
And so, what happened that day with Andrew Saya?
Angela wanted me to meet his daughter, and she had been in Waterford, and he wanted me to come with him and his client.
So I'll stop you there. Where were you on this day?
I was in my home.
Where do you live?
I'm then 3911 4th Street in Troy.
And that's city of Trenton County of Plain.
Yes.
And were you having this conversation with Andrew Saya there at your home?
Yes, it was.
And what happened?
He proceeded to go to pick up his daughter without me.
And did they ever come back?
Yes.
And what happened?
He asked me if they could come over. I welcomed them over. And
Okay. Just a little bit louder for me, okay?
Sorry. Okay.
That's all right. Nice and loud. Don't be nervous. Nice and loud.
So I invited them over.
Who's them?
Andrew, his daughter, and they came over, and we took. It was a nice summer day, so we took the top off of my Jeep.
And there. Okay. Do you remember what his daughter's name was?
Brianna Pett.
Can you spell that?
P-E-T-T.
And when they got there, what happened next?
Well, they came over with a dog.
Dog?
Dog.
Dog was it?
I believe that it was his daughter's. I'm not sure of the religion of the dog.
And
But well, we went out. We'd taken the top off of the Jeep, and we got sunburned. We came back to my house, and they wanted to bail out.
And then what did you do?
Well, I was sunburned, so I was let's just stay at home. We had a couple drinks at the house. They wanted to leave, and I went, I was trying to convince them to stay. I said I was up. I don't believe at that point there was any plan. So I took a nap, and then and when I woke up, the dog was still in my home, and Andrew was missing, and as well as my vehicle.
So were you the only person in the home at that point?
But it was just me and the dog.
And what did you do next?
I tried to contact Andrew, and I noticed that my vehicle wasn't there. And I don't believe he had his phone on him, so I called his daughter. And
Judge, to clarify for the court record, Brianna Pett is the co-defendant in this case. And I am going to ask her what Brianna Pett said. And I want to make sure that everybody's aware of that. So,
Well, the defense can object.
after you called Brianna, what did she say to you on that call?
She confirmed that Andrew had not, had his phone, and I wanted to talk to Andrew, and they had confirmed that they were at a gay pride fest. I believe that is in Wyandotte.
And then what happened next?
Well, I became a bit upset about the fact that my car was missing. It was obvious that they were drinking in the car, and I had a dog in my house.
And
So
what did you do next?
I sat and I waited as they returned, which was a long wait of time. And when they came back, I started activating, but I told them that they had to leave.
So let me stop you there. When they came back, do you remember on what time it was?
I do not. I know that it was later in the evening.
And was it both Andrew and this Brianna Pet came back?
The pet was still in my home.
No, Brianna Pet.
Yes, yes.
Well, Andrew, and Brianna Pet came back.
Yes, they did. Yes.
Did they enter your home?
They entered my home.
And what happened?
And I told him that they had to leave. And his daughter became very aggressive with me, telling me that
What the daughter saying to her?
Any response?
She didn't say what the daughter had said to her. She said the daughter got very aggressive.
Well, hang on. Don't say anything.
And the daughter,
I want you to rephrase the question. She's drawing a conclusion that could be based on hearsay. So as far as I'm concerned, there's a lack of foundation. So I'm going to ask you to stop your answer right there. You can ask your next question. You can phrase it differently and lay a foundation.
when you said daughter, do you mean Brianna?
yes.
And she walked in with Andrew Steyr?
Yes.
And where were you in the home when she walked in?
Living room.
And she's 80.
Yes. She she said, that I was being aggressive towards the fact that I was upset and we're not leaving anywhere. And I'm like, yes, you are. I felt disrespected by the fact that they had taken the vehicle.
So, did you ask them to leave?
Yes, I was, like I said, you guys have to.
And is this why there was an argument?
Yes.
And what was her demeanor like to you?
She was aggressive.
And
Well, wait a minute. What do you mean by aggressive?
Well, she continued to tell me that they weren't going to.
That's why I'm telling you. Hang on. That's why I'm telling you that's too nebulous for me. Her term of use of the word aggressive. Hang on. I'm striking from the record. You can try to establish more foundation, which is basically on what was said, and drawing a conclusion. So you can rephrase again.
Your Honor, the word aggressive can also be an observation.
It can be, but but now she's starting to say, when I asked you, what do you mean by being aggressive? She started talking about what was said, which is based on hearsay. That's the problem.
To your recollection, was she, was this argument, during this argument, was she yelling at you?
Judge is right, but this is why it's hard to do this. It hurts your brain. Trust me. You're trying to elicit testimony, get things, and you're thinking about all this side crap, which is important. It's the law, but when you get done with a hearing like this, you just want a freaking nap.
Yes.
And what happened next?
She told me to leave my house.
Well, wait a second. Wait a minute. She is a co-defendant, though?
Yes. She's not here. We made this clear last time. She's still in Lauren's status and she has not.
I see. I apologize. I apologize. You're absolutely right. I mean, you're right. If she's a co-defendant, she can repeat what she said. Now, and yeah.
It's just a bit confusing because she's not here.
Right. I got it. Go ahead. I want you to, I apologize. Go ahead and ask your next question.
Yeah. During this argument, tell me what happened during this argument.
She opened my front door and tried to pull me out the door.
Yes, I was operating under the same misconception that he was. Once he fixed it, then he apologized for it. It all makes sense. He's doing a good job.
But my house, as I was telling, like I live here, if you have to leave.
Oh, let me stop there. Where you said she tried to pull you out, you're fucking like, what do you mean?
She opened the door and she pushed me to get out of my doorway and like pushed me down.
And where on your body did she push you when she pushed?
Towards the back.
No, where did she touch you on your body and push you?
Like toward the back.
Oh, under. Okay. And did you fall?
Well, I got out. I got out. I went to maneuver myself back into the house, and then at that point, she pushed me under the ground and started to assault me.
And what did she do exactly?
She's pounding me in the back of their face.
And in your back, did you say?
Yes, I was in fetal position towards the ground, and she was striking me.
And do you remember was it only in your back or did she hit you anywhere else?
No, I was on the ground, and she went on top of me and started.
When you say on the ground, were you facing the ground?
Yes.
Yes. What happened next?
Well, Andrew was there witnessing it. Everybody was fighting and screaming. And Andrew, I antagonized the situation.
And when you say antagonized, what do you mean?
Like I was yelling for him. I, at this point, went to grab my phone to call 911, and she was trying to get the phone out of my hand.
So let me stop you. There's a little bit going on here. First, you said Andrew was antagonizing. What did he say?
He was saying that like I didn't have any right to go against her. She was much stronger than me. He was.
How about if you remember with this Brianna Patton, is she bigger than you?
Oh, that she's a much larger.
And then you said that there was a phone in your. Was it a phone?
No, this was my fault. My phone. It was like I was on the carpet inside my living room in front of my television, and I went to grab my phone, and then she was trying to get the phone out of my hand.
And was you able to get the phone out of your hand?
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. She was playing.
Why did you reach for the phone?
The call 911. I mean, she was assaulting me.
Did you say at any point that you were going to call 911?
Yeah, most certainly did. So I'm calling 911.
And is that after you said that, did she then take the phone out of your hand?
Yes.
And where was Andrew again at this point?
He was right at the scene of this moment. He was right above us.
Was he
A foot away, maybe? I don't know.
And what happened next?
When she got my phone, she left. The front door had still been open during the altercation of her trying to get me out of the house. And at that point, I was screaming and yelling. Andrew had still been in the house after Brianna left.
Do you recall what you were screaming? Yeah.
I didn't.
You cannot say.
No, I cannot say that I remember.
And then what happened next?
At that point, I was still on the floor, but I was yelling at Andrew.
What were you saying then?
I was just telling him, like she has my phone, like what does she do? Like this is, and he said, you deserve exactly what you get. He was just degrading me. And then went to.
Did you observe? When you observed Brianna Patton leaving, did you observe your phone in her hand?
Yes, I did.
And what happened again during this conversation with Andrew Sayat?
Andrew went to strike me. I was still on the ground. I went to get myself out, and then he approached me and went at me.
And what did he do exactly?
He started to hit me from the back as well. I was still on the ground in a fetal position. He started hitting me in the back again. And as I was trying to cover my face, his hands gripped the sides of my arm. I was filled with bruises. I was trying to cover my face at the time.
And at this point, were you on the ground, facing the ground?
Yes.
And did you hit your back, you said?
Yes, he was hitting my back. He was also holding me down to where I couldn't. So I was trying to get up. And at that point, he went to hold me by the neck and he punched me in the face, blacking me.
So let me stop you there. When you say hold me by the neck, Was it one hand or two hands?
I believe it was just one hand along the side of my neck. I was bruised all down the side of my neck.
And let the record reflect, the witness does have her, on her left hand on her neck, on one side of her neck, and her thumb at the front and her pointer finger to the back of her neck. And so,
And then he struck me on the right side by my eye and the sixth eye.
you had his hand on your neck. What was he doing exactly?
He was hitting me.
Let me rephrase that. With the hand that he had on your neck, what was his hand doing?
I guess just holding for leverage. I mean, he went to hit my right side.
When you say holding, what do you mean?
A grip.
By grip, do you mean that he was squeezing?
He was squeezing, but I feel like he was squeezing for leverage. So I don't know. It was all a blur. And I remember being held and being punched in the side of the face. I mean,
She's leading the shit out of her. She's just like, say it. Say he's choking you, B.
I had two black eyes to prove that. So
I didn't hear that.
I said, I had two black eyes to prove that. So
And do you recall if you lost consciousness at all during this time?
I don't. I don't know if I had a mild concussion. I don't know if it was just because of the entire excitement of the crazy aggression that I was just going through. I don't know. It was
Do you remember what you were feeling that night?
fear. I mean, I knew there wasn't any way I was going to get him off me. He was stronger than me. And he just got beat up by his daughter. I was kind of, maybe just allowing it, just trying to protect myself. That's it.
And at this point, were you still in the living room?
Yes.
And what happened next?
From what I can remember, I believe that after he struck me in the side of the face. My front door was still open at this point, and he proceeded to leave. And I stayed with the door. Like I said, the door had been open. I was still in shock of what was happening. I was still on the floor.
When he left, were you still on the floor? Were you standing?
Yeah, it was still on the floor.
And after what I want to know is after he had his neck and had his hand on your neck and was hitting your head over here.
Thank
you. What else did he do after that to your body?
Not much of anything. He started to beat me, and then I feel like at that point, once, I mean, I was screaming. It was very.
Do you remember what you were saying?
I have no idea. And I don't recall the time.
And then did he walk out the door after that?
He walked out the door freely, and yes.
And do you recall anything else that happened after he walked out?
The next thing I know that the police were there, I didn't have a phone because his daughter was stealing a phone. So I had no way to call 911. So I don't know if a neighbor heard. I mean, the door had been open through the whole altercation.
And
so somebody else called.
If you recall, in the beginning, you had mentioned your vehicle was missing. Did they return to your home with your vehicle?
Yes, they did.
And
when they left with Andrew Science vehicle.
And did you observe them leave with his vehicle?
Yeah.
But was your vehicle at home?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
And
after that, once I had made the police report, I went down to see that the vehicle was still there. My keys had been tossed somewhere, and the roof was still off the vehicle, but it was hard to find.
Let me stop you there. Do you remember after all of this? Do you remember what your injuries were?
I was bruised. I was bruised.
Tell me where on your body.
Arms, my chest, my neck.
What was on your neck?
Bruising, arms, my thighs, everything. I was bruised all up and down.
And did you get any medical attention that day, if you recall?
I did not.
Did you speak to officers?
Yes, I did.
Did you write a statement that day, if you recall?
I don't know. I know that I was very nervous. I know that they had asked me to write a statement. I believe that I did, actually. Yes, I did. Now that I think about it, yes, I did.
Is it possible is it possible at all that your memory of this day was affected by the fact that you said you had a couple of drinks?
Maybe possibly, but I had not tried. I had drank previously that day in the house when they came back from the festival. They were very intoxicated. I had already went to sleep.
So let me rephrase that. Is it possible that those couple of drinks that you had earlier that they affected the memory you had of everything that happened with Andrew Seattle?
No, not due to the severity. I was very sober.
So are you being truthful here?
Yes, I am.
And are you recalling everything to the best of your memory?
Yes, I am.
I have no other questions, Governor.
Cross?
I don't know if you can say that.
Well, there's
I'm Jim, what did you say? You said you had a couple of drinks.
Yes,
If you tell me what you had to drink that day,
I had vodka and orange juice.
and more than one.
I would say, yeah, maybe 2 or 3.
Okay. And how the allegations, they say, occurred at 12:51 a.m. How much before that time?
I had cocktails. Like I said, we had gone out in the Jeep, driving around in the sun. Went to the bar, came back home. I had some cocktails while I was at home. So I would say probably maybe about noon, 1 o'clock. And then I stayed home, and as I said, I went to sleep.
Very good. And the alcohol didn't affect your memory that day.
No. I mean, I was sleeping for several hours, and then when I woke up.
But there's several things today that you didn't remember right away. It was about writing a statement and other things. But so, is it your memory today, or was it your memory that day?
I remember making a statement.
At some point, did you call Did you call Mr. Siak and ask him to come back to the house?
No,
You didn't call him to come back because you had a bloody nose.
no.
And an officer responded, and I believe that was Officer Hughes
Yes,
spoke. And do you remember talking to him?
yes.
Do you remember what you told him about your black eye and your bruising?
I remember telling them, I remember showing you, I believe these are photos.
If I showed you, statement, would you your memory?
Sure.
May I approach you a minute?
Yes.
We'll take a look now. Would you like to do this before?
I had one shot that I formally too, this was the second one.
Wait a minute, I don't know what you're showing her right now.
Your Honor, I'm showing her Officer Hughes on the report.
Your Honor, she can't testify to that.
You're just, are you withdrawing the question? Is that what you're doing?
I will withdraw.
Okay, and you can ask something else. Go ahead.
You remember speaking to Mr. Officer Hughes,
Yes, I do.
and do you remember telling him that you did not have a black eye, was not from that day, and the bruising wasn't from that day? Yes or no?
No,
You don't remember telling him that, yes or no?
I remember telling him,
Very good, thank you.
Your Honor, I don't think that was his statement.
Well, she asked for a yes or no. I think that's fair, but I don't think you finished your question. Can you answer that with a yes or no?
Yes, I do.
Wait a minute. Ask it again, and then you tell me if you can answer it with a yes or no. Ask your question again.
Do you remember telling Officer Hughes that night that the black eye was not from that night, yes or no?
Yes,
Do you remember telling him the bruising on your arm was not from that night, yes or no?
yes,
Satisfied?
You don't have to She didn't object. It's evidence.
When, I think, just for a second, please.
Sure. Sir, what are you doing there? What's your name? Who are you? You.
Me?
Yeah, you.
I'm sorry.
Well, you're here with somebody. You're shaking your head. If you're going to be that dramatic, you're going to have to go out in the hallway and shake your head, okay? It looks like you're shaking your head at the witness. I don't know if you're shaking your head at the witness or what the defendant did. I don't know, and I don't care, but you're not going to be that dramatic, okay? All right. Otherwise, you got to go out in the hall, okay? Go ahead. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are?
When you were screaming that you were screaming, were you also fighting back? Fighting
Well, I was trying to defend myself, yes.
Okay. And had you initiated any fight with Miss Pat?
No, I did not.
And it was Miss Pat that punched you in the back?
Yes, it was.
And did she punch you in the back?
Yes.
And did she punch you in the head?
Yes, she did.
She was the one that would not let you up off the floor?
That's correct.
When you were on the floor, did you actually see what was going on?
No. I was just seeing it.
So you don't know who actually was behind you?
Yeah,
Right?
yes, my face was toward the ground.
Okay.
My face was toward the ground. I was trying to protect my
So you don't know who actually was behind you?
Yeah.
And you don't.
Wait a minute. Slow down. Do you know who was doing that?
Yeah, she initially attacked me when she got me down to the floor. I was holding my face down to the ground. I mean, she's a big girl.
Okay, you don't need, you just answer the questions. Let her ask her next.
Okay. And so you continued with your face toward the ground.
Yes, that's correct.
And did you ever look up and see what behind you, or did you steal yourself?
Yes, briefly.
So,
Yeah, I wanted to turn my head.
and first time you lifted your face up from the floor, you saw Mr. Siak leaving?
Mr. Steele was behind me.
Okay, that you can see what's behind you.
Once she got off of me,
Okay.
Steele was behind me.
All right, but you knew that it was a Miss Pat and not Mr. Siak punching you in the head.
Yes.
And was most of all the physical contact actually with Miss Pat?
No, Mr. Steele. Mr. Steele attacked me as well.
Mr. Siak, did he pull Miss Pat off of you?
No.
But he left. He left.
Brianna left. Siak is still in my home.
And then
After attacking me.
Mr. Siak actually lived at this apartment?
He stayed from time to time, but no, he never lived there.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any redirect?
Yeah.
So when the police arrived,
Yes.
as you said on cross-examination, you told the police that there was bruising, that the bruising was from something else.
I already had bruising from a domestic with side, but the black eye on my left side of my face was a former bruise.
And
My eye was blacking that day as well.
which eye was blacking?
My right eye.
So
But I had a formed black eye that wasn't a recent event.
So did you also have bruises from this event to your mouth?
Yes, and sir.
Then you
Your Honor, I couldn't hear that question. I'm sorry.
So did you also have bruises from this event as well?
Sir.
and you,
I mean, this is
Wait.
and it's
Just,
your
hang on a second. Let's just slow down. Just answer the question. The
Oh.
question was, did you have bruises from this event?
did.
Okay, ask.
So it's your testimony today that she had injuries from something else as well as the incident that day?
That is correct.
And is that what you talked to the police about?
Yes,
You indicated to them that you had bruises from several incidents as well as this one?
yes,
And is it your testimony today that Andrew Syak hit your back?
yes,
And did he also hit your head
yes, I did.
on this day?
Yes.
And did he hit you anywhere else in your body? Can you tell?
He gripped me up.
He what?
Gripped me. He grabbed onto my arm, my hip.
So he gripped you on your head, I'm sorry, in your hip and your arm,
Yes,
and he hit you in the head. Is that what you said?
that is correct.
How many times did he hit you in the head?
I would say maybe twice. Only one that hit toward my eye.
Were they slaps or punches?
If you recall.
I do not.
Okay.
But you do recall an injury to that eye that for that day, yes?
Yes, most certainly.
And
The injury that you sustained as a result of that assault was to your right eye.
That's correct.
And a left eye bruise
Had already been bruised.
from a prior assault, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
so you indicated to defense counsel on the cross that when in the beginning, when this all occurred, you were facing the ground.
Yes.
And do you recall who attacked you initially?
Ran.
And you recall observing her leave at some point, right?
Yes, I do.
And after she left, did Andrew Syak then put his hands on you?
Yes, he did.
So you did observe at some point both of them hurting you.
Yes.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Anything else, Ms. Tucker Davis?
No, you're not.
You can step down. Thank you very much. Call your next witness.
Your Honor, as I said for officer, we have done half of his testimony. I would ask the continuation of his testimony be adjourned because he's on administrative leave. This was something that just popped up. It wasn't something that we anticipated. Detective Driscoll has indicated to me that it's possible he'll be back by next week. So I would ask for a 1 week adjournment with officer's testing.
Let me ask you a question. Is there anything you anticipate in his testimony that's going to establish? Wait, let me finish my thought process here. That's going to establish that there was an assault with intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder or by strangulation. I know you wanted him to testify with regard to all these assaults that happened in the past, and that's fine. But if he's not going to add anything other than what happened in the last 30 years, or how many ever years, I don't remember how many years, I just threw that out, but it lasts several years as to a prior assaults. I don't really see the need. I mean, I'll accommodate you, but do you have enough here to get to assault with intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder, or by strangulation from anything, and certainly from him more specific?
If I recall correctly, Your Honor, he did go through, I would say, a good amount of what the report said. And I do believe that we have enough. If that is what the court recalls, and the court does not believe that.
I have to go back and listen to his testimony again. I really do. I don't know if she made any statements to him, is what I'm trying to ask you, that said that he strangled her.
Do you mean from the officers?
Correct. She didn't testify there was any strangulation today. She said he grabbed the side of her face. He was almost.
Right. She testified that he had her neck, then squeezed, they had a grip on her. And
So the grip on the side of the neck.
Your Honor, strangulation element of the charge requires intentional impeding or blocking of the.
We don't have any evidence of that.
Your Honor, she also testified she had bruising on her neck. That would indicate that he squeezed pretty hard.
I mean, I don't want to talk about coming to rule on this. I'm asking you, do you have admissible testimony from the officer that would establish the charge of assault with intent to murder, assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder? Or
She doesn't know. She thought she proved it up already. It's clear that the judge doesn't think so. This is awkward. Like, I get where the judge is coming from.
by strangulation? I didn't hear enough from about strangulation. I'm going to be honest with you. Bruising on the neck. She also said she had bruises from before. I'll be glad to give you. Let's just do this. I'll give you the adjournment for a week. If I need to move it another week, I will do that. But if you're going to ask me again, make sure that you look at the records and can tell me that he's going to add testimony other than what was provided today. Okay, that's fair. We're going to adjourn it.
I just don't, I can't really tell you.
You don't have, listen, I'm not going to think you're misrepresenting to me, counsel. You're fine. You're fine. I'll adjourn it to, you think, Detective, you think there's a possibility he'll be back next Tuesday? Can you do it next Tuesday? I'm all confused between you and Ms. Patillo as to whether or not the 9th or 16th. I think you're available the 9th, but not the 16th. Let's adjourn it to this. You think he'll be back by next?
Mr. Payne, there's some processes that are happening due to.
I understand. You can't guarantee it. Let's do this. Let's adjourn it to December 9th. You're going to be.
I'll translate for you. I think you've got assault, but not strangulation with intent to cause great bodily harm. If we're just going to rehash assault, you've already got it. If you really have something new, bring that next time.
Here anyway.
9:15. Well, if it was 9:30, that would be much better. The 9th.
What time do you want it?
I'm here in the court on the 9th.
At what time?
On the 9th at 9:15. 9:30.
So we'll make it at 9:30. And you can maybe let us know then. She's not going to have to come here for any reason. She's going to be here anyway. So if he's not available, I'll take that up before. How's that? And I'll decide whether or not I should adjourn it again. But I probably will, given the circumstances.
Sure, appreciate that. Communication with the prosecutor.
Sounds good.
Given that we'd excuse this witness, I don't believe she's necessary next week.
Well, you're not going to call her, right?
No, go on.
Yeah, so she doesn't have to appear here. Okay, thank you.
There you have it. I didn't know. I thought maybe we'd get a ruling today. Apparently not. What's odd about that? That was interesting, but hard to follow, admittedly. What's more fun, although I couldn't find it where it is. It was a few weeks ago or something. When this guy was on, this guy's a real a-hole. So before the hearing started and he was talking, he really got on McNally's nerves, and it was a lot of fun. We get to the substance, it's actually a little less fun because we don't have the defendant irritating the hell out of the judge, which is the really fun dynamic here. I don't know. Maybe we'll follow up. Was it next Tuesday? This hearing's a few days old. It's from last week. The only reason I didn't run it is because the sub-sits were just dropping out of the sky this week. They were just all over the place. Keeping me too busy. All right. Behave yourselves. It's Saturday night. I am fine. I've not had anything to drink. And B, I'm hibernating. So unless I stub my toe on the way to my bed, I should be okay. Behave yourselves. I'm not bailing anybody out. Good night.